Have you ever looked up at the night sky and wondered about our place in the universe? It's a big question, and people have been asking it for thousands of years. We live on a beautiful blue and green planet, a special world teeming with life. It feels so strong and permanent, but is it? This curiosity about our beginning and our end is part of what makes us human. We tell stories, we look for signs, and we use science to try and understand the world around us and what the future might hold. It's not about being scared, it's about being aware and being prepared for what lies ahead. Throughout history, every culture has had stories about the end of the world. These tales often involved angry gods, giant floods, or battles in the heavens. But today we have a powerful new tool to look into the future: science. Scientists are like detectives for the planet. They study the evidence all around us, from the ice at the North and South Poles to the air we breathe to the very core of our Earth. They are not trying to predict a single day when everything ends. Instead, they are trying to understand the systems that keep our planet healthy and warn us if those systems are in trouble. It's a way of checking our planet's vital signs, just like a doctor checks yours. This brings us to some very important ideas from some of the smartest people who have ever lived. When brilliant minds like Stephen Hawking talk, or when a huge organization like NASA releases new information, it's a good idea to listen. They aren't trying to create panic. They are sharing what they have learned from years of careful study and observation. They are giving us a report card on our planet's health. Understanding their warnings is the first step toward making smart choices for our future, ensuring that this beautiful world of ours remains a safe and wonderful home for generations and generations to come. Thinking about the future of Earth can feel a little overwhelming, but it's also incredibly important. It's a conversation that includes all of us, not just the scientists in their labs. By learning about the challenges our planet faces, we empower ourselves to be part of the solution. We can turn concern into action. The story of our planet's future is not finished yet. We're all writing it together every single day with the choices we make. So let's dive in, look at the science, and see what we can do to help our amazing home planet continue its incredible journey through space. Stephen Hawking was one of the most brilliant scientists of our time. He spent his life thinking about the biggest questions in the universe, from black holes to the beginning of time itself. But he also spent time thinking about our home, planet Earth, and he had a serious warning for all of us. He wasn't trying to scare people, but he wanted everyone to understand the risks we are facing. He suggested that if we don't change our ways, Earth could become a very difficult place to live. He used his deep understanding of physics and the universe to look ahead and see where our current path might lead. Hawking worried a lot about something called the greenhouse effect. This is what happens when certain gases, like carbon dioxide, get trapped in our atmosphere. They act like a blanket holding in the sun's heat. A little bit of this is good. It keeps our planet warm enough for life, but Hawking warned that if we keep adding more and more of these gases by burning fuels like oil and coal, that blanket gets thicker and thicker. He imagined a future where the planet gets so hot that it could become like a big ball of fire. This is what we call a runaway greenhouse effect, and it's what happened on the planet Venus, making it hot enough to melt lead. He even put a rough timeline on his warning. He suggested that if we continue on our current path without making big changes, human life on Earth might only be sustainable for about another 100 years or so. He pointed to the year 2600 as a time when things could get very critical. This wasn't a prophecy or a magic prediction. It was a calculation based on the rate at which our population is growing and our energy use is increasing. He saw that these trends, if they continue without any checks, could overwhelm our planet's ability to support us. His message was clear: we need to take these threats seriously. The important thing about Stephen Hawking's warning is that it came with a solution. He believed in the power of human ingenuity and science. He urged us to invest in science, to explore space, and to find new ways to live that don't harm our planet. He thought that eventually humanity might need to find other planets to live on, becoming a multi-planetary species. But his more immediate message was about saving this planet right here, right now. He was telling us that the clock is ticking and we need to use our amazing brains to solve the problem we've created, starting today. When you hear the name NASA, you probably think of rockets, astronauts walking on the moon, and amazing pictures of distant galaxies. And you'd be right, but NASA does so much more. One of its most important jobs is to study our own planet, Earth. Using a fleet of advanced satellites, NASA keeps a constant watch on our world's oceans, ice caps, land, and atmosphere. This work is crucial because it gives us the real, hard data we need to understand what's happening to our home. NASA is like our planet's doctor, constantly taking its temperature and checking its health. Now, you might see scary headlines online that say something like, "NASA confirms the end of the world." It's important to know that these are not true. NASA has never ever set a date for the end of the world. The agency's job is not to make scary predictions, but to provide facts. Scientists at NASA study long-term trends and potential threats, but they deal in evidence and probabilities, not prophecies. They might warn that certain actions like polluting our atmosphere are creating dangerous risks, but they don't claim to know the exact future. Their goal is to give us the information we need to make better decisions. So what does NASA actually say? The agency is very clear that our planet is facing serious challenges. NASA's data shows that the Earth is getting warmer, that our ice sheets are melting, and that sea levels are rising. They also acknowledge that our current use of natural resources, things like fresh water, forests, and fossil fuels, is happening at a speed that can't last forever. They warn that continuing this way could cause major problems for our environment and our civilization within a very short time. This is a serious warning, but it's based on observation, not a doomsday clock. Instead of predicting an end, NASA is focused on finding solutions. The agency's Earth science missions provide invaluable information to farmers, city planners, and governments all over the world. For example, NASA data can help predict droughts, monitor wildfires, and track hurricanes, saving lives and resources. Their work is all about understanding the complex systems of our planet so we can better protect them. NASA's message is not one of fear, but one of responsibility. They give us the knowledge, and it's up to all of us to use that knowledge wisely to protect our only home. One of the biggest warnings from scientists at NASA and around the world is about climate change, which is often called global warming. So what is it really? Think of the Earth's atmosphere as a cozy blanket. This blanket is made of gases that trap some of the sun's heat, which keeps our planet at a comfortable temperature for life to thrive. This is called the greenhouse effect, and it's a natural and necessary process. The problem starts when we add extra greenhouse gases to the atmosphere. For the last 150 years, since the Industrial Revolution began, humans have been burning huge amounts of fossil fuels like coal, oil, and natural gas to power our homes, factories, and cars. Burning these fuels releases a lot of carbon dioxide, or CO2, into the air. This extra CO2 makes our planet's blanket thicker. A thicker blanket traps more heat, and that causes the Earth's average temperature to slowly rise. It might not sound like much, just a degree or two, but even a small change in the global average temperature can have huge effects. It's like when your body has a fever, just a few degrees can make you feel very sick. For the planet, this fever melts glaciers and polar ice caps, which then causes sea levels to rise and threatens coastal communities all over the world. This warming doesn't just happen evenly everywhere, it changes weather patterns. Some places might get much more rain than usual, leading to devastating floods. Other places might get much less rain, causing long and severe droughts that make it hard to grow food. We also see more extreme weather events like more powerful hurricanes, more intense heat waves, and more destructive wildfires. These aren't just random events. They are symptoms of a planet whose climate system is being knocked out of balance by the excess heat being trapped in the atmosphere and oceans. The science behind this is very strong. NASA uses satellites to measure the amount of CO2 in the atmosphere, the temperature of the oceans, and the size of the ice sheets at the poles. The data they have collected over decades shows a clear and undeniable warming trend. Scientists can even study ice cores from Antarctica, which have tiny air bubbles trapped inside from thousands of years ago. These bubbles show that the amount of CO2 in our atmosphere today is higher than it has been in at least 800,000 years. This is why scientists are so concerned and why they are calling for urgent action to reduce our emissions. Besides the changing climate, scientists also warn us about another major challenge, the way we're using up our planet's natural resources. Think of the Earth as a giant savings account filled with things we need to live, like fresh water, clean air, forests, and fertile soil. For a long time, humanity used these resources at a rate that allowed the Earth to naturally refill the account. trees would regrow, water would be cleaned by natural cycles, and soil would regenerate. But today, with nearly 8 billion people on the planet, we are withdrawing from this account much faster than it can be refilled. Let's look at a few examples. Fresh water is essential for life, but it's a limited resource. We use it for drinking, farming, and industry. In many parts of the world, we're pumping water out of underground aquifers faster than rainfall can replenish them. This leads to water shortages and can even cause the ground to sink. Similarly, our forests are incredibly important. They produce the oxygen we breathe, absorb a lot of the CO2 that causes climate change, and are home to millions of species of plants and animals. Yet, huge areas of forest are cut down every year for lumber, farming, and urban expansion. Fossil fuels like oil, coal, and natural gas are another critical resource we are using up. These fuels were formed from the remains of ancient plants and animals over millions of years. They are a finite resource, meaning that once we use them all up, they are gone for good. Our entire modern world is built on the energy they provide, but we are burning through them at an incredible rate. NASA has stated that this pace of exploitation is not sustainable. It not only contributes to climate change, but also sets us up for a future where the cheap and easy energy we rely on is no longer available. This overuse of resources is what scientists call unsustainability. It means we are living in a way that the planet cannot support over the long term. We are essentially borrowing from the future to live today. This affects biodiversity, the variety of life on Earth. When we clear forests or pollute rivers, we destroy the homes of countless species, leading to extinction. A healthy planet depends on a rich web of life, and by breaking the strands of that web, we put our own survival at risk. The scientific message is that we need to find a better balance and learn to live within our planet's means. To protect our planet, we first have to understand it. This is where NASA's incredible Earth observation program comes into play. High above our heads, a whole network of satellites is constantly circling the globe, each one with a special job. These robotic scientists are our eyes in the sky, collecting data on everything from the temperature of the sea surface to the health of forests in the Amazon. They can measure the thickness of ice in Greenland, track the movement of pollution in the atmosphere, and monitor the moisture in the soil. This information is absolutely vital for understanding the changes happening to our world. Think of it like a giant planetary-scale health checkup that never stops. One satellite might use radar to map the tiny inch-by-inch rise in global sea levels. Another might use a special camera to measure the amount of chlorophyll in the ocean, which tells scientists about the health of phytoplankton, the tiny plants that form the base of the entire marine food web. Other satellites track weather systems, providing the data that allows for more accurate forecasts of hurricanes and storms. Without these satellites, our understanding of climate change would be based on scattered measurements from the ground, and we wouldn't see the big picture. This data is not kept secret. NASA makes its findings available to scientists, governments, and the public all over the world. This allows researchers everywhere to study the information, confirm the findings, and build even more detailed models of our planet's climate. It is this global, collaborative effort, built on the foundation of NASA's data, that has led to the strong scientific consensus on climate change. When thousands of scientists from different countries look at the same data and come to the same conclusions, it gives us great confidence in what they are telling us about the health of our planet. Ultimately, NASA's mission is one of knowledge and service. By observing our home planet in such detail, the agency provides the undeniable evidence of the challenges we face, but it also provides the tools we need to find solutions. For example, satellite data can help farmers use water more efficiently, guide city planners to build in safer areas, and help nations manage their natural resources more sustainably. NASA's watchful eye does more than just warn us of danger. It shines a light on the path toward a safer and healthier future for everyone on Earth. While many of the most urgent threats to our planet come from our own actions here on the ground, NASA is also looking outward to protect us from dangers in space. One of these potential dangers is an impact from an asteroid or a comet. We know from geological history that large objects from space have hit Earth in the past. The most famous example is the asteroid that struck our planet about 66 million years ago, leading to the extinction of the dinosaurs. While a major impact like that is very rare, the potential for damage is so great that we have to be prepared. This is the job of NASA's Planetary Defense Coordination Office. That sounds like something out of a science fiction movie, but it's a very real and very important program. Its mission is to find, track and characterize near-Earth objects, asteroids and comets whose orbits bring them close to our planet. Using powerful telescopes on the ground and in space, scientists scan the skies every night, searching for these objects. When a new one is found, they carefully calculate its orbit to determine if it could ever pose a threat to Earth in the future. The good news is that NASA has already found and tracked over 90% of the very large asteroids, the ones big enough to cause a global catastrophe like the one that wiped out the dinosaurs. And the even better news is that none of them are on a collision course with Earth for the foreseeable future. The focus now is on finding the smaller but still potentially dangerous objects. An asteroid the size of a football stadium could still cause immense damage to a region if it were to hit, so finding them all is a top priority for the asteroid patrol. But what if we did find an asteroid on a collision course? NASA is working on that too. In 2022, the agency successfully completed its Double Asteroid Redirection Test, or DART mission. This was a groundbreaking experiment where a spacecraft was deliberately crashed into a small asteroid to see if the impact could change its path. The mission was a spectacular success. It proved that we have the technology to nudge an asteroid off course, given enough warning time. This transforms the threat of an asteroid impact from a matter of fate to a challenge that we can solve with science and engineering. When we hear all these warnings from brilliant scientists and see the data from organizations like NASA, it can be easy to feel worried or even a little scared. It's true that the challenges are big. Climate change, resource depletion and the health of our planet are serious issues that we have to face. But the message from the scientific community is not meant to cause despair. In fact, it's the exact opposite. It is an urgent call to action, and it is filled with hope. The very same science that identifies the problems is also the science that gives us the tools to solve them. The purpose of a warning is to give you time to change course. If you are driving and you see a sign that says "bridge out ahead," you don't just keep driving off the cliff. You slow down, you read the sign, and you take a different route. That is exactly what scientists are telling us to do now. They have put up a giant sign for humanity that says "warning, current path unsustainable." They are not saying we are doomed. They are saying we need to steer toward a better, safer future. They are showing us the data so that we can make informed choices as a global community. This is where the hope comes from. We have incredible technology and a deeper understanding of our planet than ever before. We have developed amazing sources of clean energy like solar and wind power that don't release greenhouse gases. We are learning how to be more efficient with our resources, how to recycle and reuse materials, and how to design cities that are more in harmony with nature. The solutions exist, and scientists and engineers are developing new and better ones every single day. The challenge isn't a lack of solutions, it's a lack of will to implement them quickly and on a large scale. Therefore, the scientific message is fundamentally an empowering one. It tells us that our actions matter. It says that the future is not set in stone, and that the choices we make today will determine what the world looks like for our children and grandchildren. It's a call for collaboration, innovation, and responsibility. It asks us to trust the evidence, to listen to the experts, and to work together to protect the only home we have ever known. It is a message that says we can do this, but we have to start now. The future of our planet isn't just in the hands of scientists and world leaders, it's in all of our hands. While the problems may be global, the solutions can start right in our own homes and communities. Every single person can be a part of the plan to keep Earth healthy and safe. The small choices we make every day, when added together with the choices of millions of other people, can create a powerful wave of positive change. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to help save the world. You just have to be a thoughtful citizen of planet Earth. One of the simplest things we can do is to be mindful of our energy use. This means turning off lights when we leave a room, unplugging electronics that we aren't using, and choosing energy-efficient appliances when possible. Since most of our electricity is still generated by burning fossil fuels, Every bit of energy we save means a little less carbon dioxide going into the atmosphere. We can also think about how we travel, walking, biking, or using public transportation instead of driving a car, even just once or twice a week, can make a real difference in our personal carbon footprint. Another important area is consumption, the stuff we buy and use. The 3 R's are a great guide: reduce, reuse, and recycle. First, try to reduce what you consume. Do you really need that new item, or can you make do with what you have? Second, reuse things whenever you can. A glass jar can become a container for leftovers, and an old t-shirt can become a cleaning rag. Finally, recycle. Make sure that paper, plastic, glass, and metal are sorted and sent to be made into new products instead of being dumped in a landfill. This saves energy, resources, and reduces pollution. Finally, we can be advocates for nature. This can be as simple as planting a tree in your backyard, which helps absorb CO2 and provides a home for birds. We can support local farms that use sustainable practices to grow our food. We can also use our voices. Talk to your friends and family about why protecting the planet is important. Write to your local representatives and ask them to support policies that promote clean energy, protect natural spaces, and reduce pollution. By working together from our individual homes to our global community, we can answer science's call to action and ensure a bright, healthy, and hopeful future for our amazing planet.